Is anybody there? Whoever's here, welcome. If you're new, my name is Aileen. If you are not new and you've been subscribed to me forever, welcome back. This is this version of me. I don't know if I'm putting up the video I recorded a couple of weeks ago because I did my favorites for 2023. I was kind of all over the place because I haven't done this in a really long time. But now that I put 2 videos on my camera that were all over the place, I feel a little bit more practiced, but I might have to redo those videos. I'm not sure yet. Today, I actually had the privilege to have the afternoon off because it was predicted that we were supposed to get this huge nor'easter. But the beautiful thing about living in New England is that the weather is unpredictable. Like literally you will not know what's going on until last minute. And as of last night we were supposed to get, or a few hours before the nighttime, we were supposed to get like 8 inches, and literally there's like nothing outside. Well, I think I live in New Hampshire, so south of us, they were supposed to get like 6 to 8 inches. They canceled school in Massachusetts. Yeah, like there's like a dusting out here. When I was driving home, it was like rain, although it was like getting a little frozen up here in New Hampshire because it was a little colder. Anyways, I'm not the weather girl, but it's just unpredictable out here. Today's video is a little book haul because Mama has a little bit of work burnout, and so I needed a little retail therapy. Now, I didn't go crazy. Most of these are used. I tend to go for used books when I can. Most of the new books that I tend to get are usually from Book of the Month, which I'm subscribed to. And I don't always get a box, but I got a box in February. I got the February box. And I skipped like a whole bunch. I have so many books that are unread that I really should concentrate on reading what I have. And that's one of the goals that I have for this year. But that does not mean that you are not going to get book hauls, because you will. I love buying books. I love reading them. I just wish I could read a little faster, especially with the pace that I'm buying them. But that's one of my goals, is if I'm going to be buying this many books, like I can't be spending a ton of money on, especially new books. I am going to go ahead. I made notes on the books that I did purchase because I typically don't read the flaps. I like to go into books blind, and so most of these I knew that they were recommended by some of the people that I trust, and those people tend to be booktubers or podcasts that I listen to. I am not on social media, or I don't go on there, so I don't get a lot of the FOMO that I used to get before. So it's great. It's been great. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get started, and most of these I got in January, and I think a couple I found yesterday at my library. So a lot of these are from my library, and basically they are books that are in that 50-cent dollar cart that are used, and I tend to have really good finds there, so I'm pretty lucky with that. One is from Dollar Tree, one is from eBay, and then the other few are from Book of the Month, like I said. I am going to show you what I am reading now. Dang it, my other book is in my bag. I took it to work with me. The one book that I am reading this month is The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Harrow, which is a fantasy. It's like a historical fantasy. So far, I'm liking it a lot. What I'm also reading, I decided this year I want to conquer this bad boy right here. Yeah, she's thick. This is the Count of Monte Cristo. I saw so many reviews or favorites of 2023 and in past years that this was like their all-time favorite book, and I was like, you know what, I need to read it. And I had it in my cart in so many places for so long. I finally found it at a used library book sale for 50 cents, brand new, and I knew that was my sign to just pick it up this year. I'm not very far in. I'm about 30 something pages in, and so far it's actually really interesting and easy to read. So I'm probably gonna try to do about a chapter or 2 a day if I can. They're not super long, which is great. So that's what I'm reading now. What am I listening to? I don't have my phone, but I just finished listening to this morning, John Stamos's memoir, which I love John Stamos. I've always loved him from the moment I saw him on Full House. I never watched Fuller House, but my young one is obsessed with Full House and Fuller House, but he loves Full House, the original, of course. Who doesn't, right? And so he has a memoir called If You Would Have Told Me. Fantastic. He narrates it himself. Loved it. I listened to it right away. I do listen on a really fast paced speed. I think I listened to that one at about 1.75 or 1.8. I can't remember. But I loved it. Absolutely loved that memoir, and I just really enjoyed that one. Recap, this is a book haul. So like I said, January was a doozy, and I've had a little bit of burnout with work, so I was like, treat yourself. Treat yourself. But I didn't go crazy. So, okay, so I did write notes. So if I look down, it's because I'm giving you a really quick synopsis. Again, I don't read flaps, and I don't like to know too much going into a book because I like the discovery of discovering what the book is about. I just like to get the gist. Harlan Coben, I Will Find You. I found this at the library for $1. And I believe this is from 2023. This is from last year. I'm not a huge mystery thriller reader. I tend to dabble a little bit here and there because I tend to need these more as a palate cleanser when I read literary fiction or some of my more serious books. I like to have something like this to read as like just something quick, popcorn, just like I need to mix it up. I'm a huge mood reader, and I can't just stay on the same path reading the same type of books too much in a row because it just kills my vibe. So I tend to, if I feel a little bit mystery thriller, I will pick this up. This is about an innocent man who was put in jail for a life sentence for killing his child, and then he finds out that he's actually alive. So that's what that's about. The next book that I actually had the pleasure of finding is The Night Ship by Jess Kidd. I think I have her other book, Things in Jars. Can't remember. It might be on my shelf. But this one is a historical fiction, literary historical fiction. Let me give you a quick synopsis. It is based on real events that are with the backdrop of a shipwreck. It says it has themes of friendship, sacrifice, and forgiveness. So I love that this has sprayed edges. I don't usually go for the fancy editions because I don't care unless it's like a favorite book. Oh yeah, sprayed edges, pretty awesome. I paid $1 at the library, which is great. The next book that I found at my library was A Flicker in the Dark. This is actually a Book of the Month Club edition. This is by Stacey Willingham. This has gotten kind of mixed reviews from different people that I trust. From the younger people, it tends to be like really good, yay, really fast-paced, quick thriller, which again, I don't like to read too many of these because I feel like they're just, it's like I always forget about them. It's like, meh, okay, whatever, moving on. But again, palate cleanser, popcorn thriller, I'm down. It's a psychological thriller. I guess it's based on these teenage girls that were murdered, and the main character finds out it was actually her father. So there's that. Like, that sounds pretty interesting to me. The next one that I have is Big Lies in a Small Town by Diane Chamberlain. I have a couple of her books on my shelf and I've never read her, but I saw this for 50 cents, brand new, and I looked up the ratings on Storygraph and Goodreads and they were pretty good, so I just picked it up. It is a historical fiction and it looks like there's 2 different timelines. It takes place in North Carolina, like mystery fiction. There's art involved. That's really helpful. I don't know. I know that it got good ratings and I'm down to read it. This one actually I have had in my cart off and on because, and when I say cart, I'm talking about like paying full price-ish. But I saw this at the library and I have heard so many of my trusted sources really love this one. And this is Go As a River by Shelley Reed. This is fairly new. I believe this was published, when was it published? 2023. I think it was like towards the end. I believe this is a coming of age historical fiction. What did I write down? It's a debut novel as well, and I'm all down for coming of age. I love those type of stories. It's supposed to be emotional and heartwarming, and I believe I heard someone say that don't go into it knowing too much about it. So I'm not. So there you go. That's my quick stint. The next book that I have here is MacArthur Park by Judith Freeman. this stood out to me at the Dollar Tree. I actually usually don't go shopping for books at the Dollar Tree, but I just happened to be there for whatever reason. I can't remember. And I just kind of browsed by because I usually don't find anything there. And I saw that this was the only one. The name stood out to me because I lived in California a few years ago, and MacArthur, I believe, is one of the highways. And the palm tree, and I was like, ooh, I wonder if this is based in California. I don't know. It says here, it's a captivating, emotionally taut novel about the complexities of friendship between two women and how it shapes and reshapes both of their lives. That's all I need to know. I really like delving into the complexities of relationships. Anything that says that, I'm all down for it. So I'm really looking forward to it. There's not a lot of ratings, and I think that I saw it was about 3.5 stars on Goodreads, which I don't usually trust because usually those are the books that I tend to like. So I'm looking forward to this. So the next book is actually one that I actually had borrowed it from the library, like read the first few pages, and I was really really interested in it. It was a book that was recommended by a podcast, or the woman in a podcast that I listen to that I really enjoy, and I trust her recommendations because I tend to match up with what she likes. And so when she said this was her top favorite of the year, she was speaking so highly of it. She couldn't stop gushing. I literally just went and looked for it, and I found it on eBay. I actually found a UK version, which is a paperback, and I'm really happy that I did because the hardback was really big. And books like this, I tend to prefer to have the paperback. Anyways, the book is Collected Works by Lydia Sandgren. I actually really like this cover. I'm not quite exactly sure what it's about, but I will tell you what Storygraph said. Temporary fiction, it explores complex relationships, ding, mystery of human experience, ding. Like, check my boxes. Those are all things that I love to read about in a book. So I'm really excited to read this. I definitely want to read this within the next few months. I'm not sure when. I don't usually do TBRs or schedule reading because I'm such a huge mood reader. If I put something like, okay, I want to read this month, I literally won't look at those books. Like, I'm just like, nope, I don't want to read them. Nope. Like, I want to be random about it, but I do want to have intentional reading where I want to make a stack of books that I want to read for the year that I want to get to this year, and I do have some of those, so maybe I'll make a video of that. I go off on tangents, sorry guys. All right, next library find. This is The Librarian Spy, and this is by Madeline Martin. I've never heard of this. This is a World War II novel, historical fiction, obviously, and this is actually based on true events, I guess. American library spies at the Library of Congress, which I will be visiting next week in DC, so I'm super excited about that because I've never been in there and it looks amazing. So, okay, so this next one, I only picked it up because I've heard so many people talk about this author, and she does Regency romance. And I've heard that they tend to be a little bit on the steamier side, I think. I don't know, but I know that a lot of people love her. It is Tessa Dare. I tend to shy away from books like this, and I remember I used to read them all the time, but having such big books, I kind of long for these now. I don't know what it is. Like, the mass market paperback are not my favorites. They don't look nice on the bookshelf. So I tend to prefer trade paperback or hardcover. I hate books like this. But let me tell you, I've had this feeling of wanting just a small book. It's not great for my eyes, but I have readers, so it's okay. Look how little. Like, I don't need anything large. I don't need anything holding it down. I could just hold it in my hands and it's okay. So I thought, why not? This is like something to try. I've never read her before. It was 50 cents. I'll tell you what it's about. I don't know what it's about. I think this is part of a series. So it's a historical fiction romance, Regency romance, and it has themes of a marriage of convenience, love, secrets, and scandals. Yes, sign me up for a quick, like, let's popcorn. This is definitely something I would want to read. I have one more library find, and I actually found this yesterday as well, or yesterday. This one is God Help the Child by Toni Morrison. I had never heard of this. I have a few Toni Morrison on my shelf, and I would love to have all of her works. I have read The Bluest Eye. That is the only book that I've read from her, And I read that so many years ago that I remember pieces of it, and I was probably too young to appreciate all of it. So I definitely need to reread. And I know that's one of her hard-hitting type of hard-hitting novels, and she tends to have smaller novels, which I usually, as you can see from my purchases, I tend to go for thicker books, and maybe that's why I read slower. But this is a thin one, and her novels, even though when they're slim like this, they tend to be hard-hitting. This is a literary fiction novel that takes place, I believe, in 2015. It explores the impact of childhood experiences on adult life in the context of colorism, race, and parenting. I read the first chapter yesterday, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna read this right now. I'm already like, I'm thinking that I'm gonna read my other book during the day and this one at night. So good. Like, it sucked me in. I was already like, oh my god, I need to continue with this. It's very thin. It's only like, it's not even 200 pages. 178 pages. So this is a quick read. Again, I'm a slow reader, so I don't know when I'm gonna finish this, but I think I'm going to my oven. I'm gonna try to read this at the same time as what I'm reading. I'll probably finish this first. So I know the lighting is really bad, but I had to get up in the middle of my filming because I'm making some bread. But I want to show you before I open this up. Look at the beauty. If you guys want me to film how I make that, I will. This is basically protein bread. It's made out of egg whites and egg white powder. So, yeah. There it is in all its glory. Now it needs to just cool down. Yum yum. I make this every week. I actually make like 2 loaves a week. So you're welcome for the little intermission. We're gonna finish this up. So the next few books are the ones that I got from Book of the Month. And so I actually have 3. These are from February. And 2 of these are 2 of their 6 picks. I think they had 6 selections. And one of them was an add-on. The first one that I have is The Women by Kristen Hanna. I love Kristen Hanna. I read a few of her books and absolutely always enjoy what she writes. This is historical fiction. I haven't read her other historical fiction novel that I believe The Four Winds. I have read The Nightingale and a few others from her backlist that I really love. This is historical fiction. I don't know a lot about it because I just know that I just kind of trust that I'm going to enjoy it. Let's see, it says, The Women, at once an intimate portrait of coming of age in a dangerous time and an epic tale of a nation divided. I believe it takes place in the 60s. And it involves nurses in the Vietnam War. I don't know a lot about it, but I'm very excited to give this a go at some point. The next book that I have was actually one of my add-ons. This is Hard by a Great Forest by Leo Vardiashvili. And this was actually something that I added on because I had it in my cart already to order when it was published. I think this was just published this month. February 2024, and I had seen Khaled Hosseini, who is the author of the Kite Runner. I always forget the name of that book, and I love one of my favorite. He's one of my favorite authors. He wrote a quick blurb on somewhere. I can't remember where it was. I think it was like a literary magazine or something. Really giving this book, really giving it a rave review, and I love him as an author, and this is a debut novel, I believe. I don't know a lot about it, but I know that when I read that, I was like, automatic add to cart. What does it say? It's a historical fiction. It is literary. Let me give you the quick first few words here in the inside flap. Saba is just a child when he flees the fighting in the former Soviet Republic of Georgia with his older brother Sandro and father Irakli for asylum in England. Two decades later, all 3 men are struggling to make peace with the past, haunted by the places and people they left behind. There's more, but I don't want to know more. So there's that. That is something I probably want to read within the next couple of months. The last one I honestly, I think it was a lot of it was cover by, and this is giving me a lot of spring vibes in Boston. I did live in Boston when I went to optometry school, and just seeing like, you know, the buildings, it just looks like, you know, the homes in Back Bay. Love that. And just the cover. I mean, I love this cover. It's a romance, it's a contemporary romance, and it says love shows up when you least expected. So it's Ready or Not by Cara Bastoni or Bastone. This was just published not too long ago, and it says a surprise pregnancy leads to even more life-changing revelations in this heartfelt, slow burn friends to lovers romance. Yes, 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 and yes. After I finish my books, the ones that I'm reading right now, I'm either doing mystery or thriller. I mean, mystery, thriller, or romance. And if I do romance, this is it. Because it's giving me, like, I'm ready for spring feels, and that sounds amazing. I really want to read that. Thank you. If you're still here, thank you for watching this. I tend to rant a lot, and I'm trying to keep it concise, because I know my videos in the past have gone on, and I just talk a lot sometimes. Yeah, so thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me on this book haul, and definitely feel better after. I'm not suggesting that you need to address any work burnout with retail therapy, but a little bit helps. Because you have to do the things that you enjoy, do more of the things that bring you joy, and reading brings me joy. And so I was like, you know what? I need to do more of that. And I definitely didn't do a lot of it in January, just because work was just really crazy and busy, and it was just taking a lot of headspace rent-free that shouldn't have. And so now it is not, because these books are on my mind and I'm going to read them. Let me know what books you are reading right now, and if you have any suggestions or have read any of these and you want me to move it up in my TBR, let me know. I'll see you guys later. Okay, we're gonna try this. I'm gonna try and hold both of these, one in each hand. Who the hell am I to try to fucking do this shit? Oh my god. I can't. I need somebody else to help me here, but I'm by myself today. Alright, ready? The lighting is going, oh my gosh.